This is Dr. Roger Knapp, a pediatrician. Now I'd like to talk to you about obesity. It's definitely increased in our society, and let me give you a couple of viewpoints and hints that I have gathered through the years. I'm not too sure if there's a super cure. I really definitely think there's some families who genetically they're inherited. We have some families that just flat overeat. But there's a lot of families who are not really eating a high amount of calories, but it just doesn't take much to gain weight. Child over here, or even adult, can just sit around and eat thousands of calories and never gain an ounce. And the person over here eats very few calories and gets overweight. It's a situation where their metabolism is a common expression for that. Their metabolism is such that it just doesn't take but very few calories and they tend to get overweight. And they would literally have to be starving to try and keep that weight under control. Now, some of the concepts is real important. There's some of the kids and adults who get heartburn, acid, and in a situation where they translate that to hungry, when in fact they're acidic, and they neutralize the acid with food. So a lot of times you can give the child one of the chewable Tums, Rolaids, antacids, and a glass of water. Now feel better and not that, quote, hungry. Also, you have to understand that the kids want a snack and they don't keep up their blood sugar very well. But what you need is give very small amounts, just a small snack. In a situation where if you have a carbohydrate meal, classically is the pancakes with syrup on it for breakfast. Boy, a couple hours later, you're getting kind of hungry and got the shakes or whatever, and you're starting to get low sugar. And that's because those calories are chewed up quickly. And the carbohydrates, and especially sugars, fructose that they put in the soft drinks, but also is in fruit, that glucose stimulates insulin. When insulin gets up, it makes you super hungry and drives all the calories into fat cells. So if you can avoid the sweets and sugars, if you need a snack, you're better off with cheese, crackers, with some kind of protein. I use cashews and nuts when I get hungry. Or if I can't get lunch, I'll grab a handful of nuts. And then I'm good till this evening. If I get some carbohydrate, sugary stuff, it's not going to last very long and I'm going to get hungry. So trying to cut down some of the sugars, sweets, cokes and stuff, I think a small amount of artificial sweeteners is okay. It's like everything else. Too much sunlight's bad for you, but a little bit's good for you. So I think occasional even diet drinks is all right. So trying to understand also that if you starve yourself for a week and lose 1 pound, and we pig out, we put 1 pound back on again. I wish it was the other way around. So I have a lot of kids come in here saying, I starve and starve and I can't lose weight because you forgot about that 1 day a week you pigged out. And when you do eat too much that 1 day, you've actually canceled the last 6 or 7 days that you've been working at trying to eat less. So when they talk about diet, I don't like that term because it sounds more temporary. So what I would like to, instead of using diet, use the term lifestyle change. You've heard that expression also. What you have to do is change the way you eat for the rest of your life. And dieting is kind of like a marathon race. You don't run the first mile running like crazy because you get exhausted and fall over. So when you're dieting, you cut back the calories a little bit to where you're losing a little bit of weight, but don't go drastic, maybe a pound a week. And then you're going to do this the rest of your life, so there's no hurry in losing this weight. Because if you try and get it off quickly, you get exhausted like the marathon race, and you start pigging out again. You hit a steady stride where, I can run like this for many, many hours, for 25 miles. So when you're dieting, don't go super restricted, make it gentle, but you're going to eat that way every day. You can't just blow off 1 day, and you eat that way the rest of your life. And that's a hard concept for people to understand. Once you adjusted the way you eat, after doing that for months, that's just kind of the way you eat, and you kind of get away from it. Many of us who've stopped sweet Cokes, and then when you finally drink another sweet Coke, you go, whoa, man, that's just yuck. So you kind of lose your taste for that. Kids, of course, they want what's sweet, and basically I've told parents, and why are those chips in the house? Because if you don't have them in the house, they're not going to eat them. So trying to work with their weight. I've told a lot of parents that they should gain in about the same number of pounds that year as they are years old. So a lot of times what we can do is draw a graph on the wall and have 12 months of the year, and they should gain, the 8-year-old would gain 8 pounds that year, and draw a line up the graph paper. And if you plot them once a week, every Sunday night we weigh them, and they're, with a little bit of fluctuation, going up that growth line, then they're okay, they're at least stable. And if they only gain 2 pounds a year, we're slimming down. We just don't want to gain 15 pounds and getting worse. And if you'll do that for everybody in the family, that one child who's got a weight trouble doesn't feel like they're selected out. We're all going to watch our weight and eat healthy, and not give them a bad self-esteem, saying, "Oh, you need to eat differently than everybody else." So if everybody keeps a watch on their weight, you and I, of course, aren't supposed to be gaining weight. We're supposed to be holding it steady or losing. Well, that's some kind of interesting concept about obesity, and kind of my viewpoint on a couple of facts. Thank you. This is Dr. Roger Knapp.